Okay, so hello and what's up? So, as promised, I'm gonna be coaching you on one specific thing one at a time. So, in this VOD I checked, we're gonna be focusing more on the aiming. Okay, so let's not waste too much time. So let's immediately go to the play times where you're killing people. Okay, here, yeah, this one. Okay, look. So here, the big mistake here was you acted based on your instincts to shoot. Okay, when you see the enemy, you immediately shoot instead of aiming first, then you shoot the heads. So as you can see here, when you saw the rays moving up, see how you immediately shoot without even aiming. You got the general aim. You aim at this area, but not specifically his head. So we need to target his head, right? So, so to fix that, we need to calm down. Okay, that's number one. Calm down. Look at the head. Readjust the crosshair to the head. Check if your crosshair is on the head, then you're gonna shoot. Okay, so that's why in aim labs, that's why I kind of recommend some like shit, this is my account. Sorry. I'll show you later. So let's just move on to other examples. So let's move on here. Oh shit. Crosshair placement is very low. Again, the crosshair, you can even fix your crosshair placement just by readjusting also, basing off from what I said earlier about the rays. So your crosshair was, just show you. I'll pause when we see him. Pause. Okay, see, we aiming at the chest, so we should recognize that, oh, we're aiming at the chest. We need to aim at the head. So we need to readjust our crosshair placement or aim towards his head. So we need to shoot the head instead of the body, you know, for guaranteed kill. I mean, you killed him, but could have been faster, you know. So same thing. The crosshair placement is low, so it's a big no-no. Okay, you get killed here, so let's move on here. Okay, it's a good example on how. I'm gonna give you a good example on how to again put your crosshair placement on the actual head level of the enemy. So medium range or in the typical range, your crosshair should be not this low. As you can see, it's very close to the floor. It should be higher. So even if it's only here, it's actually decent enough. Okay. So we need to be at this level. It's like the usual standard or like the distance where you're fighting enemies. Actually, this is close to close range, but usually this is how high the head level of the enemies are. So if it's longer, okay, the farther the enemies are, the shorter they get. Okay, so if the enemy is here, then the head level is also like this. Okay, so it's fine if you're gonna aim down more. If it's the if the if the enemies are a bit farther, but if they're closer here, like let's just say here somebody's here, then their heads are a bit taller, like that. So we need to aim higher. So there's a linear kind of noticeable change when it comes to distances. So if it's farther, the enemy character gets smaller. If it's a bit, the moment it gets closer, the high it gets taller. So farther, shorter, or smaller, closer the enemies are taller and bigger, especially the heads. Let's move on. Good kill here. I think I got killed in mid. As you can see, the crosshair placement, and then you acted on instinct again. So you saw him, you immediately shoot. He was here, but your crosshair was here, and then we also have our crosshair placement a bit too low, so we need to aim we adjust our aim 2 times. So that's one up and more, and then to the right. So to shorten that, to be a bit more speedy, we need to have a proper crosshair placement here. So instead of aiming up again, you can just aim to the right to focus on the head. So So let's move on. Crosshair placement again. Okay. Let's see where the enemies are. Crosshair placement low again, but you readjusted. Okay, that's fine. But again, I will recommend a bit higher. So when you readjust your aim, you can instead skip this one step and just focus on aiming to the left to kill the Euro. You did kill, which is good. That's nice. So I think my aim labs is open now. Hopefully, let me check. Oh my god, it's update. Let's continue. Crosshair placement too low again. As you can see, the enemies are closer, so we need to aim higher. For me, nice kill, but same as the race earlier in the first round, we immediately shoot based on our reaction. We need to aim, readjust okay, our crosshair to the head. So we can build a habit that we can bring, to the long term, especially if we get higher ranks. We need to have that consistent gameplay. Ooh. Okay, this one's a pretty good crosshair placement, right? That's nice. You pre-aim, you peeked, but you focused on his chest instead of his head. That was a nice reaction actually. As you can see, if I play it slowly, see how your crosshair readjusted to his body, but sadly instead of focusing on the head, you readjusted to his body. So that was a good reaction actually. So as you can see, you didn't shoot immediately. You aimed at him. That's good. Okay, first step perfectly executed. But instead of aiming at his head to the right, like here, you aimed to his chest. So that's not good. Okay, you had a good reaction. You had a good timing. But instead of aiming at his head, we aimed for the chest. So that's not ideal. So instead of killing him instantly with a headshot, we got shotgunned. So no. Okay. Okay, it's nice. Here. See, we immediately shoot instead of properly readjusting our crosshair and aim at his head. We still got the kill though, but imagine if he got his first few shots first, because he was actually shooting you first. If he got the first few shots towards you, then you would have immediately got damaged or even get killed, unfortunately. But sadly he missed also, because he had a bad gun. But we also missed a few precious milliseconds to kill him faster because of the reacting instincts first. We need to aim, then we shoot, not shoot, then we aim. That's a big no-no. Crosshair placement, slow again, higher here. See, you're aiming low. See, it's your crosshair is closer to the ground instead of on the proper head level. Let's focus here. See, aiming at the ground, aim higher. So this one's pretty good, but we just need to readjust our crosshair again. Same as the chamber on the previous round. We just need to adjust or readjust our crosshair to the head instead of the chest. Okay, much faster kills. And then it's a lot of aiming down, which is not ideal. Now you're forced to aim high. So this is actually how you should be aiming most of the time, like this. But not the target is here, but like the target is here. Like this is the floor, the enemy is here. Like this high, is this cursor placement, like the height, is ideal. See, you're almost okay. This one's good. Cursor placement good. Aiming at the floor again. No. Okay, that's one good. That is good. Aiming at the floor again. No. Okay, it's a good, pretty good. Oh, aiming at the floor again. Here, higher. Higher here. What happened here? No time. You kind of panicked there. Let's see. Flash. See, we immediately went to shoot the rays. But don't forget, we're Rainer, right? So we can go for the swift kills. You know, the swift clean. Just aim at the head, kill, dismiss. Yeah, but we're not focusing on that part. But as you can see, we're aiming at this foot, or like knee actually. Which is mainly because of the low crosshair placement we need to fix. You know, so as properly explained earlier, the farther the enemies are, the shorter the crosshair placement should be. But since it's a medium range, we should be here, you know, at this head level. So if we place our crosshair there, well, even if he crouched, we can just aim a bit lower and just kill them. You know? Boom. Sadly that happened. Skip. Okay. It's a pretty nice peak, but we didn't readjust again. See how you die? Look how you die here. Immediately shoot, instinct. You tried to readjust, that's good, but you aimed at the body instead of the head. So, yeah, we need to fix that. Again, we need to aim, then shoot, not shoot. We need to aim, okay, readjust our crosshair, aim at the head, then we're gonna shoot, okay? Not aiming, and like not shooting, then aiming, okay? We need to aim first. That's always the number one tip. Aim first, then shoot. We can aim. We can also aim, readjust, and shoot if it's needed. Okay? But usually aiming, readjustment is always in the aiming part. So, do be careful, or do be mindful of that. Okay, good crosshair placement. Okay, you're aiming low again. That's not higher. Should be higher. Oh, see, aiming low again. No. We should be avoiding that. You know, as for, you know, a tip, maybe for you, try aiming higher, like in an unconventional way. You know, to build how high should you aim. So instead of aiming like this, you should try aiming higher, like consciously. You know, every time you run, every time you go play, just aim high. Okay, to counteract the aiming low. Then okay, if you're over aiming on the high part, like if you're over, like your crosshair placement is too high, then of course you're gonna realize, oh, it's too high, you know. But like self-realization is actually much better, since it's you who realized, you know, what kind of mistake you did. Unlucky. Crosshair placement's a bit too low. We're dealing in a close range, so the crosshair placement should be higher. Nice. As you can see, as a... Oh wait, I thought I killed somebody here. What the heck? Didn't notice. Crosshair placement, again, low. We're not putting it anywhere, we're just aiming at the low. I mean, in fairness to you, you don't know the map, okay? I know that. But it's the crosshair placement that's bothering me, because it consumes time So now this is actually a pretty good crosshair placement if you're fighting this guy. Okay, so that's good. See how you didn't do much on the readjustment. You just aim at the right, then a bit of readjustment to the head. So that's good. Right? See how instead of like if your crosshair was like here, it would have to go on like no, that's too much. If your crosshair was here, it would have to jump to the head, and then that's 2 steps. But as you can see here, it's much better since you just aim to the right and then readjust a bit, just a bit, but that a bit saved your time. So you kill them also. But after that, the crosshair placement is low, so we need to fix it again. See, we're aiming low. Again, if it's closer, the enemy should be taller and we should aim higher. So as you can see, this is actually a pretty good crosshair placement since we know we're dealing somebody on the closer range, then we aim high. Okay, that's good. But you aimed low after that, so we need to again aim first, then shoot. So a good way to practice that should be, okay, I think you have my playlist naman dyan. So sige, let's skip that. Let's go to 6-shot. 6-shot ultimate, sige. Let's play this. Let's go to 6-shot ultimate. Change my settings. Okay, here. So again, we need to aim. Okay, aim. If it's needed to readjust, then shoot. Aim, readjust, shoot, aim, readjust, shoot, aim, readjust, shoot. Okay, so we can try practicing this slowly first. So you can try flicking and then flick here, maybe close to the target or exactly on the target. Then check if your crosshair is there. Then we're gonna shoot. So I'll try using your crosshair just to give you a pretty good example on how to use your crosshair also. Here, let's restart. So okay, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna flick to this guy. Flick. Okay, I'm a bit too far. Readjust. Shoot. Flick. 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 Flick. Readjust. Shoot. 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 But if you have pretty good flicking already, the readjustment should be minimal, but it's just to practice. That's how you should be practicing the 6 shots. So flick, readjust, shoot, flick, readjust, shoot, flick, readjust, shoot, flick, readjust, shoot, or aim, readjust, shoot, aim, readjust, shoot, aim, readjust, shoot. It should be like that. Okay, what's happening here? Kill Euro. Okay, it's a pretty good aim, then shooting. Look, see how you aimed first. That's really ideal. So you got him. That's nice. What's happening here? Oh, you got wall banged, I think. Oh. Okay, skip. Okay. Oh, nice. Top frag. Crosshair placement low again. Okay, it's pretty decent. Okay, good crosshair placement. Higher. Oh no. Okay. Okay, we just didn't expect that. So usually, even anyone would panic. The enemy is prepared to swing you. You're not prepared to swing him. Okay. So for me, same concept again. Just aim, readjust, shoot. Okay. Skip the rounds. What happened here? See, you're aiming at the chest again. Oh. Timing. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, nice. Oh, nice. Okay, nice. That was good. But look how you instinctively shoot. Okay, you shot because you saw him. See how your crosshair's not even there yet? Then you try to readjust. Boom, then you got him. Okay, so we wasted a bit, like half a second on that duel, where we could have just make that a less time to kill. Like that took like a half a second to kill him. We could have took like 250 milliseconds instead. If we instead aim at him, then we shoot. But first we reacted, we shot, we missed a few bullets, and then we killed him after. But kinda wasted some time. Let's keep moving. What happened here? You're aiming low again. Oh, you weren't here for me. You weren't mentally prepared to fight this guy. Maybe you just peeked. See how you're surprised also, and then you immediately not able to fight him properly since you weren't prepared. So for me, yeah, could have just aim and readjusted. But for me, mainly the problem there was you weren't prepared to fight that. But we're not focusing on that part. Okay, crosshair a bit too low. Too low again. TNT. Okay, that's really good. That's a cleaner shot so far I saw. See how like look at how you stopped first, then you re-aim, you aim. See how you aim? Then when you know it's your crosshair's there, then you shoot. That's really good. That's the ideal. So that's nice. What happened here? Did I skip too far? Oh, okay. Crosshair placement too low again. Nice. Too low, okay. Crosshair placement too low. Okay, that was a bit risky, but I like how you aimed at him then you shoot. That's nice, but again it's too low. You didn't aim at his head, like the spray gun helped you. Let's see here. Okay, that was nice. That was nice. Though it wasn't a chest, I'll be honest, but I like how you immediately flicked that guy. Okay. Could be cleaner, but okay. You got the kill, that's fine. Nice dismiss, good. Oof. Chest again. Alright, you even aim at this dick. Higher, should be higher. We're dealing with same floor level. A bit farther, so a bit more higher crosshair placement. So for me, if you got the crosshair placement a bit more right, could have one-shot him. Oh. Missed opportunity. Okay. Oof, alt. Skip. Okay. Okay. So for me, the main the main thing you should be focusing to fix right now should be crosshair placement, especially specifically on how high or low your crosshair placement should be. Okay, so you can use the examples I showed you earlier as a reference to fix that, or solutions. So the next one would be uh, the habit of you instinctively shooting instead of aiming at the guy. We aim at his head and we shoot. Like that should be the thing. We need to aim. If it's our crosshair's a bit too far, we adjust. And if it's there, we're gonna shoot, and then Gecko's dead. Even though that's our teammate, but yes, that should be our. That's how should everyone play. Because like if we're relying more on the instincts, then most likely it's gonna be based on luck. Not every game, every moment we're gonna be lucky in situations like those. So we need to be okay in ourselves, be consciously be thinking on how to aim, readjust, then shoot. Okay, aim, readjust, and shoot. Like that's the basics, but it's needed to be fixed if it's a big problem, or we need to build a good foundation in regards to that technique. Okay, aim, readjust, and shoot. Okay, that's it. Yeah, thank you, and I hope to get more VODs from you, Jan, and yeah, I'm happy to VOD review more. Bye bye.